And now, What's My Line? Brought to you by Stop at Spray Deodorant. Poof, there goes perspiration. Poof Deodorant Body Powder, the body powder you spray. The Nest Shampoo, the new flowing cream shampoo. All in the first truly functional cosmetic containers, far easier to use. All created by Dr. Jules Montagnier, the famous cosmetic chemist. Time now to enjoy What's My Line?
And now, let's meet our What's My Line panel of well-known personalities whose lines you already know. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in the New York Journal American and papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And on my left, the brilliant young humorist who stars in his own television show Monday nights on another network, Steve Allen.
And on my left, the Queen of Hearts herself tonight, with another new crown, Arlene Francis.
Thank you, Steve. And on my left, everybody's comic Valentine, Hal Dimples Bluff.
And on my left, the great newsman, the great master of ceremonies of What's My Line, and I'd like him to be my Valentine, John Bailey.
Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to What's My Line, presented by Stopette. Once again tonight, we've got some folks who are good enough to come and visit us, bring with them their occupations. We'll put them on camera, and we'll put their occupations before the panel. We hope that the occupations trip up the panel and our guests carry home some prizes. We'll also have a famous guest challenger before the panel a bit later in the program. But now it's time for the experts to meet our first challenger, whose job they've got to spot. So will you sign in, please, sir? Jack E. Gelman. Jack E. Gelman. Is that right? The first thing we'd like you to do, if you will, is to tell us where you're from.
Niagara Falls, New York.
Niagara Falls, New York. Well, that's a wonderful country to come from. Mr. Gelman, we have some incipient newlyweds, I'm sure, over on that panel. I don't know where we're going to find them, but you go over anyway and let them get a chance to know you better in case they get to Niagara
Are you really from
Falls.
Niagara? Yeah. How is Marilyn Monroe?
Can I see your hands?
They're dry.
They're nicely manicured, too.
All right, Mr. Gelman, will you come over here now, please, and sit down next to me? And on the basis of this brief acquaintanceship, which we have set up between yourself and my friends in the panel, we always give them one free guess as to what your line may be. We begin the free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
I think he's a hotel clerk.
A hotel clerk, Mr. Allen.
He's from Niagara Falls. I think he makes shredded wheat.
Miss Francis.
I think he makes barrels to go over the falls.
Mr. Block.
If he's from Niagara Falls, I'd say he sells excursion tickets to Tommy Manville.
No, I'm afraid nobody has it. We'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Mr. Gelman, and at the same time, we'll tell them what his line is. But the panel will have to dig. Now, Mr. Gelman, I think the rules may be known to you. Every time you give a no answer to the panel, it will cost the panel $5. We keep a record of all this up here. 10 of these no's, and you have won the game. There's always one last bit of help we give the panel. Mr. Gelman is salaried. With that, let's begin the general questioning with Mr. Block.
Do you deal in services, Mr. Gelman?
Yes, I do.
Do you deal with both sexes?
Yes.
You're from Niagara Falls. Do you possibly have anything to do with married people?
Yes.
Figures? When you deal with them, do they come to you?
Yes.
Let's see. Do you by any chance have anything to do with putting them in a particular place?
Yes.
Well, did they get both food and lodging at this point?
Yes.
Well, would I be likely to spend a honeymoon at this particular...
You're the one person I could think of who might, yeah.
There's got to be a jail. Well, is it something that perhaps some people wouldn't want to go to?
Yes.
But it's a place that a lot of people might want to go to.
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Are you in this place a good deal of the time when you're working?
No.
That's 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Allen.
Do you ever deal with children?
No.
That's 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
Do you work for a non-profit-making organization?
Yes, I do.
Does your work have anything to do with some kind of an institution or a jail? Would your work be at all associated with an institution of any kind?
Well, there's a tenuous relationship, I think, perhaps.
Well, we'll give you a qualified yes.
There you
I'm no master of ceremony.
go. Meet my successor. I'm leaving right now. You have a qualified yes, Miss Arlene.
Do you have anything to do with the branch of the law that might put people in an institution?
Yes.
Are you on some kind of a board?
No.
That's 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Block.
Do people wear a uniform in the work that you're connected with?
No.
That's 5 down and 5 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Does your work deal with any branch of criminology?
Yes.
Do you have something to do with crime detection? Even in a
We have a small
laboratory
conference.
setting? If you'd let me go, I might have gotten myself in trouble.
Actually, Miss Dorothy, we have had a committee session here, and there are circumstances under which Mr. Gelman's work would have certainly a relationship to crime detection.
It is then sometimes used as something else?
No.
Well, I mean, actually, crime detection per se is a part of the responsibility that he might exercise, right, Mr. Gelman?
That's right.
Do you have something to do with getting information of a certain type, which you are better qualified than the ordinary person to get?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you use any type of apparatus in your work?
Ah,
Small question.
No.
find out if he goes over Niagara Falls in
Yes.
a barrel.
Yes.
In a very
minor
general way,
way.
minor way, too.
Do you sometimes observe people when they don't know they're being observed?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Allen.
Are you in any sort of a superior capacity? In other words, do you have subordinates working under you?
Yes, I do.
I assume that what you do, you could do in other towns than Niagara Falls. It's not peculiar, in other words, to that location.
That's right.
Are you employed by the city?
No.
That makes it 7 down and 3 to go, Miss Francis.
Do you sit in some sort of judiciary capacity? Don't ask me to define judiciary.
Well, I think I have to I'll have to refuse to answer that on the grounds that it might incriminate me.
Miss Arlene, I will have to let that answer stand. You go on from there.
Maybe Mr. Kefauver.
Do you have to have any training for your job?
Yes.
Do you have to have formal education for your job?
Yes.
Do you have to be a lawyer in some way in your job?
Yes.
Are you a criminal lawyer of some kind?
No.
You led me on. That's not fair.
I'm of a half a mind to give Arlene another. Are you a criminal lawyer? No, I guess we can't. 8 down, 2 to go, Mr. Block.
Well, half a mind is better than none, Jack.
Oh,
Do you have an... I think I feel a weenie coming on with Dorothy.
All right, I'll give you 10 seconds for a consultation.
The
well,
FBI or
well,
something.
no, he could be a prosecutor, a district
Prosecuting
attorney.
attorney.
If he's not a criminal lawyer, perhaps he's for the state. He works for a non-profit making organization.
He doesn't work for the city.
All right, the 10 seconds are up, Mr. Block.
I just thought up a great new idea. Maybe he's a prosecuting attorney.
That's right.
That's right. District attorney is what we're looking for. Thank you. Now, let's see there. Mr. Gelman, you did right well here. You have won, my golly, $40. Very good, and I think it's only fair to tell you all that Mr. Gelman has asked us to see that what he has won tonight is sent to the YMCA Building Fund in Niagara Falls, so you did very well with the prizes.
John, on behalf of our staff, we've watched you for a great number of years as a broadcaster and on this program, and we'd like to present this to you, and we've made you a member of our staff. Now, that is conditioned, of course, upon you're bringing the entire panel to Niagara Falls and all your listening audience.
Well, we can't all get married.
Well, I think probably, panel, you better watch out. As you already know, I'm working for Jack Hoy out in Westchester as a deputy sheriff. Now I am an assistant district attorney in Niagara County. I'm going to be the most dangerous man in the state of New York. And thanks very much, Mr. Gelman. Thanks for being with us. All right, panel. Let's see what we can do with another challenger. Will you sign in, please, ma'am? Marie Bayer, is that right? How are you? Well, now, is it Miss or Mrs.?
Mrs.
Well, Mrs. Bayer, first of all, would you tell us where you're from?
Englewood, New Jersey.
Englewood, New Jersey. Well, there are 4 folks. Well, you've got more than 4 folks from Englewood here, but there are 4 folks over there in the panel who would like to know you a bit better. So would you walk down in front of the panel for me, please?
How are you?
How are you?
All right.
She's
Mrs.
less
Bayer,
nervous
will you
than
come
we
over
are.
here and sit down next to me, please? And on the basis of your handwriting and the chance that you have had to visit with the panel, we always give them 1 free guess as to what your line may be, and we always begin these free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
I think she makes donuts.
Mr. Allen.
I think she's a facer in a sardine factory. She sees that all the sardines are facing the same way.
Miss Francis.
I think she's a blues singer.
Mr. Block.
She's either a heavy date or sells rye crisp.
No, I'm afraid nobody has it right. We'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Mrs. Bayer, and at the same time, we'll tell them what her line is, and the panel will have to bid. All right. Mrs. Bayer will return everything here to normal, and I think you know the rules. Every no answer will cost the panel $5. 10 no's, you have won the game, and we keep the record of all this up here. All right, panel, Mrs. Bayer is self-employed. With that, let's begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Are services part of your job, Mrs. Bayer?
Yes.
Do you work indoors?
Yes.
Do you work in one place?
Yes.
Is this place a place that other people come to quite a lot?
Yes.
Does it serve any kind of food or drink?
Food.
No liquor license. Are you the proprietor of this place?
Yes.
You are? I'm doing fine.
You're doing
I'll
wonderfully.
miss it again. Are you a criminal lawyer? Do you entertain in any way as a proprietress of this establishment?
Entertain in any way, would you
Are you a
them?
greeter and a boniface or whatever it is?
Yes.
What do I have to precisely find out?
What she does.
Just what she does, that's all.
Nothing much.
Well, I've got her in this place, and she's the proprietor of this place, proprietress of this place, and I don't know what else she could do. It seems like that ought to be enough for a big girl like you. Strong and efficient job. Are you a cashier in this place?
No, now, we don't want to mislead you. Actually, I think perhaps we have. So we'll withdraw that last question. You have identified Mrs. Bayer with a place which she manages or runs. Now, what is it?
What
Could
is
be
the
a sardine
place?
factory, a glue mill or something?
Of
you
course.
think?
Do you, do people pay at this place with a check? By that, I mean, do they, is it like a cafeteria?
No.
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Block.
You deal with women.
Yes.
That's a nice thing to deal with. Does your place have anything to do with health?
Yes.
Oh.
And you don't serve food there?
It has been elicited that
Oh, you
food
do
is
serve
served.
food.
Yes.
I have too.
All right.
We'll talk.
You may have 15 seconds for a consultation.
Maybe they don't serve much food there.
Maybe it's a
Yeah.
diet kitchen of some kind.
Or a health food.
Now I think I know why they laugh so much. You by any chance keep people from eating too much food? Like, is it like a milk farm or a diet farm?
Yes.
I think you have. You stay with me. Now, actually, Mrs. Bayer is unhappy that we didn't get a little bit further along, but I must tell you that she was awfully afraid before the program. She said, I just know that somebody in that panel is going to guess it on the free guess, the wild guess. But you didn't do that. But it is a reducing farm, and actually, Mrs. Bayer runs the Englewood Milk Farm up here in Englewood, New Jersey. And
It's a
Mr.
grade
Block,
A place.
there's room there
For you.
for you. That's fine. Thank you. Well, you didn't do too well with the prize. We never can let just one go. We got to flip a couple here just for fun. Let's flip a couple for fun. There. Now you didn't do so badly with the prizes. Thanks a lot for being our guest. It was nice to have you. Now, we come to that special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity. My friends in the panel would most certainly recognize our guest immediately, so we have provided them with blindfolds. Are the blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes, John.
Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? All right, panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we dispense with all preliminaries, get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin with Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Are you in the entertainment world?
I would think so.
Are you an actor?
Well, of a sort, yes.
Have you ever appeared in motion pictures?
Well, quite, yes.
And have you appeared on stage?
A bit, yes, I think so.
Do you usually not have a British accent when you're performing?
Well, times yes, times no.
I wouldn't think, to be fair, Miss Dorothy, we would have to say mostly no. You go on.
Are you an American, actually?
Actually, yes.
By
Properly,
birth,
too, I trust.
by birth, not just by citizenship?
By birth.
Are you under 41?
Must I answer that, yeah?
Would you care to withdraw the question, Miss Kilgallen?
All right.
I think you probably learned all you need to know.
I think 41's an arbitrary number, don't you?
Well, I guess I'm not as hot as I thought I was. Have you ever appeared in a 20th Century Fox movie?
Quite.
Have you ever appeared in a picture with Linda Darnell?
Oh, quite.
Have you ever appeared in a picture, and I'm really going back now, with Loretta Young?
Not quite, no.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Allen.
Well, let's see. Have we seen one of your pictures at a first-run theater in the last 2 years?
Well, I would think so. You can take those glasses off. He's the funny fellow from Hollywood. He had a program on at nights out there.
Oh, I take it that your home is in Los Angeles, huh?
No, not necessarily.
Oh, well...
He gave himself away.
That gives you 2 down and 8 to go. I'm sorry, Steve. Miss
Sorry, I
Francis.
took it.
Did you make a big hit in the theater in New York?
Yes, quite.
Are you married to a very attractive actress?
Right.
I was going to say, you better get on that answer quick.
Were you ever quite well known in radio?
Yes.
Did you do for the tough man in the world what Aincio Pinza did for the middle-aged man by a performance in a play, a great success called Born Yesterday?
Well, what are you going to say?
Who is it?
I never did get the dimples, did I?
You never got that.
You can get at him now, Paul.
I thought that omnibus thing today came from Hollywood. I'm not paying attention.
No, I was right here. Underwear and all.
How come you weren't at Toots Shores recently?
Well, I just haven't had time. I've been rehearsing. That's something you ought to learn about.
Well, now, Paul,
On this show, we don't rehearse.
to be serious, you are in New York. Suppose you tell us why you're in New York.
Well, I'm in New York principally to sort of plug a picture that I happen to have had the good fortune of being in called Never Wave It a Whack.
With Rosalind Russell?
With Rosalind Russell.
She was with us a few weeks ago and was just absolutely wonderful.
Isn't she marvelous?
With the two of you in the same picture, it's got to be good.
Well, thank you. It is. Yeah, what am I saying? Yeah. No, we really think that we have a kind of a comedy that everyone's going to like. And for those that won't like us, Marie Wilson is in it, you see.
And that takes care of Block, and now we've got everybody else. The battle's been taken care of, yes. Well, Paul, thanks very much for giving us these few moments of your time.
What did I miss?
You didn't do very well. I'm awfully sorry, big boy. But
We can send them to the reducing fund.
actually, it's their fault, so why don't you give them the duty?
I would gladly.
Go over and
It's
give
a
it to
saw
them.
buckets, not a...
Thanks very much for being out here. Let's see what you can do with another challenger. Will you sign in, please, sir? Gustav Waldorf, is that right, sir? Gustav
Yes, sir.
Waldorf. Would you be good enough, Mr. Waldorf, to tell us your name?
Gustav Waldorf.
Gustav Waldorf. Then be good enough to tell us where you're from.
West New York, New Jersey.
West New York, New Jersey. Well, it's been a great program. West New York, New Jersey.
It's a nice couple of states.
Yes, it's a nice mix-up. Well, now, just see if we can't mix up the panel a bit more. Would you be good enough to walk down there and visit with them just briefly?
Mr. Waldorf, may I see the label in your suit to see if you shop in West New York?
If he has a Delaware label, we're dead.
He does, yes. He's loyal to West New York, New Jersey.
All right,
Thank you.
Mr. Waldorf, since you're loyal to West New York, New Jersey, come over here to East New York, Manhattan, and sit down, if you will, with me for just a moment.
Okay, sir.
And on the basis of this quick look that our friends have had at you, we now give them one free guess as to what your line may be, and we begin the free guesses, as always, with Miss Kilgallen.
I think he bends pretzels.
Mr. Allen.
I think Mr. Waldorf works at the Astor.
Miss Benson.
I think Mr. Waldorf makes salads.
Mr. Blanc.
I think he's a Cracker Jack salesman. He sells Cracker Jack.
No, I'm afraid nobody has it. We'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Mr. Waldorf, and at the same time, we'll tell them what his line is. The panel's going to have to dig. You know the rules, I think, Mr. Waldorf. Every no answer, $5. We keep a record all up here. 10 of these no's, you have won the game.
All right, sir.
Last bit of help. Mr. Waldorf is self-employed. With that, let's begin the general questioning with Steve Allen.
Mr. Waldorf, do you deal in services?
In a way, yes.
That'll do for now. Do you deal with both sexes?
Yeah.
All right. Does what you do make people happier by any chance?
Yes, sir.
Is there, would it be correct to say in any loose way that there is anything instructive about what you do?
Yes, it is.
Does it require some intelligence, or could somebody like me pick it up?
I would say you mean to do the instruction. It would require training and intelligence.
I
yes.
see. I meant as a pupil. Let's see now. The people who learn what you have to teach, does it involve on their part any physical agility?
There is a wrong assumption there, which would make it 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
You had a wrong assumption. Shame on you. Now then, do you, would what you do have anything to do with the entertainment world? In that, would it amuse people, or would people enjoy watching you at work?
Yes.
Is this work that you do, would it be any kind of something in the sports world? You sure?
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Block.
You know, that covers quite a wide territory.
Yes, I know it is, but it's not that wide, dear. All right, Mr. Block.
Does what you do, does it involve a lot of mental activity?
Not
He's
a
got
lot,
such a
no.
high forehead.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Would you ever perform before an audience?
Yes.
Sometimes, yes.
Do you use your hands in your work?
You use your hands in your work?
Oh, not especially.
Not especially, but the hands are used, though, right?
Well, I have them, so I use them.
Do you work more by yourself than with other people?
More by myself.
You're a solo
That's right.
performer. Is
Dorothy?
music involved?
I'm sorry, I've got to ring down the curtain because we've run out of time. I think maybe you were getting close. Mr. Waldorf is a bear trainer at the Waldorf Bear Farm at Oak Ridge, New York. He trains bears.
That's very
Oak Ridge, New
sporty.
Well, you're
Jersey.
certainly trapped up.
But since by default you win the full prize, you win the full prize from Stop It, and we thank you very much for being our guest. Nice to have you with us. Nice to see you. In just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give you a preview look at one of our guests whose line our panel is going to be asked to try and identify on next week's program. But first, here's something to remember. At the same time, our panel of experts will be asked, what's my line by this man? Would you know his occupation? Could you possibly guess what he does for a living? Well, for the answers to these and a good many other pleasant and interesting questions, be sure to be back with us again next Sunday night at 10:30 p.m. when, once again, Stop-Et invites you to play What's My Line? For other localities, check your local listings for the date and time of our weekly series. And don't forget What's My Line on Wednesday nights on CBS Radio. Until we see you again on radio or TV, this is John Daly saying good night, Dorothy.
Good night, Steve.
Good night, Arlene.
Good night, Hal.
See you at the milk farm, prosecuting attorney.
And good night, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production in association with the CBS Television Network.